This is National 5 Biology, Unit 3K, Area 6, Part 3. We're going to look at an example of natural selection in action, which has been documented due to studies that have been taking place since before the Industrial Revolution. These studies involve a type of moth called the peppered moth. There are two different forms of the peppered moth, differing in just one allele of a gene. Here's a picture of them over here. There's a dark form of the moth, which is known as the melanic moth. Melanin is the dark pigment that makes our skin, hair and eye colours. And then we've got the speckled form of the moth, which is more variegated in colour. So these are the two types of peppered moth. And the story starts before the Industrial Revolution. Before the Industrial Revolution, most of the trees were covered in lichen. So here's a picture over here with lichen. It's pale coloured, and against that background, the speckled moth is very well camouflaged, whereas the melanic moth stands out quite clearly. These moths are nocturnal, and they rest on the bark of trees during the day. Their predators are robins and thrushes, so types of bird. And as these birds fly past, it's very easy for the bird to see the melanic form against the background. So melanic forms were more likely to get eaten. And when they did the studies before the Industrial Revolution, the speckled form of the moth was much more prevalent. This is because they were surviving and passing on their genes to the next generation. When the Industrial Revolution came along, the environment very rapidly changed in areas of high industrial activity. First of all, sulfur dioxide from factories killed off the lichens, and then the trees got covered in soot. So now the trees were black, and the opposite situation developed for the moths. Now, the speckled moth was easily seen by predators and were eaten in high numbers, and melanic form had the selective advantage of being camouflaged against the bark of the tree. Now, the two species of moth never became, the two types of moth never became separate species because they were always able to interbreed in areas of low industrial pollution. So, for example, in the Highlands of Scotland, that never got hugely polluted. And then after the Clean Air Act, a lot of areas have become much less polluted again.